Welcome to my birthday workout. We have got some lunges and some back bends. Our focus of our lunges is going to be different feelings in the hip and the glute, which lunges are really good at, and some back bends. So if you spend a lot of time sitting or sitting, this is just going to offer the back a different position, which might feel really nice and sort of from a psychological perspective might feel like it's doing some good. So yeah, hope you enjoy 3 supersets, 2 rounds of each. We're going to start off with a reverse lunge. This is going to act as a little bit of a warm up for our other lunges. So we're just going to start by going into that reverse lunge, and it can just be a step back for now. So stepping back and then starting to think about that back knee traveling down towards the ground, just enjoying the lovely sun behind me. I hope you can see me okay. That's it, just focusing on now sending that back knee to kiss the ground. There we go. And we're going to introduce a reach. So I'm just going to change position so you can see a little bit better. So we're still in that reverse lunge. And what I'm going to do is both arms are going to reach across that front leg. Here we go. Reaching over. So spending just a little bit more time in the bottom. Chest nice and upright. So what I don't want to be doing is sort of collapsing forward towards that front knee. So think chest is pointing outwards. Somebody once gave me a really funny cue about nipples being lasers. So for a chest upwards cue. So if you had lasers here, you would be able to shoot everybody still. So think lasers, and that will help keep the chest nice and tall. Let's have one more each side, reaching over. And there, lovely. Okay, we are next down on the mat. I'm just going to pop this down a little bit so you can see. This is a plank squat. So a plank squat is starting in a plank and then pushing back so that the knees, hips and ankles all bend just like they would in a squat. So we're going to go squat, push back, and then we're going to let the hips come down and go into an upward dog. So knees can either be off the mat or just pop them down. Untuck the toes for a second and just enjoy that back bend. So that's our first back bend. Pushing back into that squat position, coming forward, hips down, untuck the toes, take the eyes up. Again, knees can be off the mat if it feels good to do so. So don't do anything that does not feel like an ooh or an ah. We don't want any ouchies. So really just focus on pushing through the lower back, going anywhere between 8 and 10, offering the body what it needs. I'm going to go 3 more. Push those hips as far back as they'll go. Last 2. Oh, I had a nice click then. Nice click in the hip. 1 more. Lovely. Okay, so we're going to go through those 2 again. We're just going to change that reach. So I'm going to pop the camera back up so I don't chop my own head off. There we go. Little drink. And we'll get back into round number 2. So on that last round, we reached over the front leg, we're going to reach the opposite way now. So in that reverse lunge, we're going to reach the opposite way, and you'll just see that that really shifts my hips over in a different way, and that our back knee sort of points down behind that other one. So we're reaching opposite way, send both arms out straight, back knee travels towards the ground. I'll show you from the side. That's it, away from that leg. And just taking a chance to notice how it feels in the hip, in the glute. Again, lasers. Reaching. We're going to go 2 more on each side. This is one way to get warm. Last one. Oh, lovely. And then back to that plank squat to upward dog, stretching through that lower back. Here we go again. Anywhere between 8 and 10. Pick a number that's good for you. I'll go through those mods again. So pushing back as far as it'll go. It might just be here. For others, it might be right down here. And either keeping the knees on the ground, bending through that back, or pushing the knees off the ground through the tops of the feet. Make sure that the knees really bend here. Focusing on pushing through that lower back as far as it'll go, so that it feels nice, not horrible. You might get some clicks. One more for me. Lovely stuff. Okay, superset 1 is done. Grab yourselves a little drink. And in this next round, we have got a lunge going to different points on a clock, and then an exercise down on the knees, which focuses on leaning back, pretending we're holding onto a big ball. Okay, so in this lunge, right leg is going to lunge to 12 o'clock, then 11, then 10, and then all the way across to 9. So it's going to come across the body. Left leg is going 12, 1, 2, 3. So on this first round, let's just get used to what that looks like. So right leg, nice big step towards where 12 would be on a clock, both knees bend, bring it back up. This leg will need to touch down for balance. If this does feel quite wobbly, have some furniture around. In fact, I would encourage the wobbles. It means the core's working. It means that you're challenging yourself enough. Now, this leg's going to step towards where 11 would be on that clock. So it's coming across that front leg. 10. Now, 9, straight across the body. This one's going to feel the strangest in the hip. And there we go. Left leg. 12, 1, 2, 3. Big step towards where 12 would be. Bring it back. 1. Oh, needed the chair then. 2. And then right across to 3. There we go. And of course, when we're stepping to 9 and to 3, that's when we're going to lose the most range of motion, because it's not a position that the body's perhaps used to, and it'll be going, what the hell are you doing? Just use a range of motion that feels comfortable. Right, back to that right leg. Step into 12. Knee kisses the ground on that one. 11. 10. Take the toes pointing straight to that number. My sofa is in the way a little bit. Left leg. 12. 1. Again, thinking about keeping those lasers upright. That's 2. Now to 3. Perfect. One more round of that. Right leg. I would advise that if you had a mat, that you were doing it on the mat, with both feet on the mat, instead of creating yourself like a skid risk like I have. But, you know, I've got to show you the best angles. It'd probably be better if I just wasn't on the mat at all. Step in towards 12, 11. See if you can take that back knee to kiss the floor. 10. And all the way to 9. Leaving that back foot where it is the whole time. That's the aim. 12. 1 o'clock. 2. And now 3. All the way across. Furniture in the way, but also helping. Perfect. Now, we're going to go down onto the mat on the knees. And we're going to be in this position. So, tops of feet flat on the mat, legs together, maybe a tiny couple of inches gap. Pretend you've got a huge exercise ball or some sort of novelty beach ball. We're going to go one way, then the other. And then we're going to lean back as far as we can go and take it overhead. And then bring it back up. And I immediately felt that my core just went, oh, did like a big wobble. So here we go. Anywhere between 6 and 8. Big ball in hands. Round both sides. Then lean back. Take it overhead. Lovely. Doesn't have to be too far in that lean. Just go where's comfortable. Pass that ball round both sides. It could just be here. Still take that ball overhead. Try and bend through the lower back. Two more. Just really imagining that you're holding on to that. A bit of acting skills required to keep the shape of that ball. Oh, lovely. Okay, little break. And we've got those again. Wonderful. So really take time to notice on these, what different feelings do you get? Hips, glutes, maybe even quads, maybe even ankles and calves. And just take time to notice that, because that's biomechanics at play. So getting to know what's going on in the body in different places. Of course, if any of these feel horrible, don't do them, or take some range out. So just because my lunge looks like this doesn't mean that yours has to. It can just be a step forward, both knees slightly bent. You're still working the same skill, still working the same mechanics. So here we go. Right leg, 12, 11, 10, 9. 3 rounds. Here we go. Take your time. Enjoy them. Nice big step forward. Pointing that toe to the number. 11, 10. Straight across the body. Step it to 9. Ooh. Really, really feel that in the glute of the hip. Again, 12 to 11, 10, Or get my balance, straight to 9. And it does, in those different positions, I notice, particularly when I do them, I've got to make so much more effort to come out of that bottom position. I've got to really push back. Straight to 9. Next leg. Left leg's turn to 12. 1, 2. Straight across the body to 3. And again. And to 3. For the last time on the left leg. 12. To 1. 2. And 3. Lovely. Shake those off. Back down on the mat. 4. Hugging that big ball. Passing it one way, as far as you can go. And the other. Lean back. Take it overhead. Ooh. That is tough. Again, your lean back could be here, and your bend could be here. Just do what feels good. Set yourself up for success. 2 more. That is meaty. All right, quick drink. On to our last superset. Just realised that my mat is a bit out of shot there. There we go. So in this last superset, we have got a squat down with a lunge, so the leg goes back, and then we're going to try and stand up on one leg. And then we are going back to the plank squat to upward dog, but we're going to then introduce a reach so that we spend longer in that back bend. For this exercise, you can grab a chair or a yoga block or something that's not as low to the ground, just to help you take some range out of it and just to help you drive up with one leg. So what we do, one hand is going to touch the ground in our squat. So squatting down, one hand's going down. Whatever hand is down, that leg's going to go back. Then take that hand off, and we're going to try and stand up on one leg and then switch sides. So squat down, other hand goes down, push that leg back, get that balance, try and stand up and float that back leg off the ground straight away. So here we go, going for between 4 and 6 on each side. If you want to, you can put both hands on the ground, get that balance, stand up. Completely up to you. Oh, what am I doing? Squat down, nice and low, take that leg back, try and stand up through that one leg. So I'm getting muddled up now. I've got too many clock numbers in my head. Squatting down, send that leg back, get the balance, bring it up. Like I said, if you need to put the hands on something higher, like a chair, send that leg back and then come up. That is completely up to you. Try not to push off the ground with that back leg, just trying to use all of that front leg. One more each side. Ooh. Perfect. So in this upward dog now, same as before. So we're in the plank, down on the ground, push back to resemble a squat, come back into the plank, hips go down, come into that back bend, and you're just going to lift one hand and then pop it down, and then swapping arms on the next one, push back, come into that upward dog, untuck the toes, lift. If that doesn't feel like it's accessible, just stick to what we did in that first superset, focusing on trying to push the knees off. I'm going to go for 6 in total, so 3 on each side, because these are quite demanding. So I cannot lift my knees if I do the reach, but the reach gives me different feelings in the back, so that's fine. Awesome. Oh, that's made me very sweaty. Little drink. So one more of each, and then we are all done. Oh, that sun. It's making me feel very warm indeed. So the living room's a little bit chaotic at the minute because we're building furniture, so I feel like everything's closed in on me today in this video, because there's a lot of stuff there. There is a lot of stuff there that's not normally there. I feel a little bit claustrophobic, but you know, that's life, isn't it? Can't always have a perfectly created space for your workout. So back to squatting down, hands to the floor, take a leg back, get that balance in that lunge, and then try and come up all the way through just that one leg. If you can, try squatting down and taking that leg back without hands on the ground. See how that feels. I lose a little bit of depth when I do that, but it is kind of fun to practice that balance. And so then stand up on that one leg. See, it's making me work very hard. A little bit of a wobble. It's all good. One more each side. I'm going back to hands on the ground. My legs are getting very tired, and I just need a little bit of help. Lovely. Just some downward dogs, plank squat to upward dog with a reach to finish. Just going to wipe a bit of sweat off my chin. Here we go. Again, just 6. If you're going for the reach, if you're not going for the reach, you might want to do between 6 and 8, picking whichever option suits you. So either focusing on just that back bend, focusing on the back bend and lifting the knees, or focusing on the back bend and just trying to lift one hand. If you can't reach it straight up, just see if you can just lift it off the ground, because that's where I used to be. At one point, I couldn't move my hand at all, and then I could just move it a little bit, and now the body is allowing much more movement in that arm, but it took a while to build that up. So just do what you can. Pushing back to what resembles a squat, hips down, untuck the toes, reach. Again, if it feels uncomfortable on the knees, you can always pop a pillow down or double over the mat. Last one. Oh, that is a face that I pull. When I go for that reach, my face is an absolute picture. Oh, I am very sweaty. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed offering your lower back some different positions that you might not be used to. It might feel a little bit sore, not to be alarmed over, and normal when we work any muscle. But have a lovely rest of your day. I've got a full day of plans because it's my birthday. But as always, any questions about any of the exercises, let me know and I'll chat to you soon. Bye bye.